Gemini, thank you for joining us today. This is a general reading, a love reading, and a financial reading. Now, this is my own interpretation, so do take the information that resonates with you as your own. And if there's anything that does not resonate with you, leave that for someone else, as it will definitely benefit them. Oh, there's a card went flying. So I will just point out, do stick with us though, as there is definitely a message here for you. Now, I'm going to flip that card just because it looks like it's meant to be upside up today. So, of course, now just as I get into things, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Weekly Tarot Light. I do weekly long videos and daily short videos. So, do look forward to those. So, let's get right into things. Looks like this. Looks like we're doing a bit of a longer general reading today, but that's all right. Sometimes this happens. So, looks like recently there has been a lot of change for you. That things have been really happening and going places. Maybe not so much in progress. It looks like it may be negative changes for you, and things have been really tough. That I see that these changes have really put pressure on you. Now, I do see that as we move into current times, that you're really finding balance, that these changes really challenged you and really pushed you to your limit, but that you're starting to realize that they're not so dire, they're not so drastic, and that you do have the ability and the power to get balance from that, that there is forward movement, forward momentum. Just keep an eye on what is there and how you are building yourself and how to continue building yourself, and that balance will continue to remain. Now, I do notice that there are situations that aren't being fully disclosed to you, and that maybe there's something that's being kept hidden from you, or that you're just kind of blinded to. And I really see that this is going to be a scenario that in the future, you will really find yourself opening your eyes. There will be situations that will be covered up from you, but you will be opening your eyes to those. So let's keep that in mind as we get into our reading today. Now, Gemini, let's get right into the love reading here. Okay. Okay. Looks like you do have some phenomenal movement, and that things are going to be happening for you. I see that in the recent past that you've tried to have yourself really be open-minded and pushing yourself towards the future, but that there have been troubling times for you in that although things may have been moving, that the times currently are very emotional for you. That these emotions have really felt like they were getting out of hand, and that they were really challenging you. Now, I really do see that this is not the end of the situation, and that's not the worst thing that can possibly happen, that things are absolutely improving, that's not the end of it, that there is absolutely forward progression moving into the current times. I do see that you have had and will be having times where you really feel like you're thinking inwards and noticing yourself, noticing how you feel, what you feel, and kind of thinking for yourself, which is something that you haven't been doing recently. That you've been thinking too much for others, and that is what has caused a lot of those troubles for you recently. I really do notice that this inward thought process and these self kind of looking in a mirror, looking at yourself, is really going to drive you forward in terms of that love. That honestly, for you specifically, that you really are going to start noticing that person. That for some of you, it looks like you may not even be specifically finding somebody in particular, that you will really notice that person. For those of you with a partner, this is a situation where you're going to realize just what they are doing for you and how they can really benefit you for the future. And I see this growing you and that person in very excellent ways, that things will move for you and for that person, personally, romantically, and in your day-to-day life, honestly, that even though this is a situation that has been tough, that you have felt like you were relying so much, trying to give that person so much, that you and that person are going to start noticing each other. Now, for those of you who are looking for a person, waiting for that person, that kind of situation, this is a situation where that person will start to really notice you and realize what you've done for them, and that they'll really fall into their the relationship that they have with you, and they'll start to notice the things that honestly that you've built. And I see that there will be abundance in your near future, that things are really going to be progressing very well and very quickly for you. Now, let's get right into the financial reading from here. I do see that there is lots of good movement for you romantically. Let's move on into the finances. Okay, so financially, it looks like you've got some forward momentum. I do see that in the recent past, you have felt that you were really pushing forward and really building things towards the future, but it looks like you maybe didn't have that kind of situation that really satisfied you. That things were going the way that you were hoping, but then that things started to fall away, and that you just didn't find that you were receiving acknowledgement for your successes, for your progress, and for your potential, basically. That you just weren't receiving that same acknowledgement, and you weren't finding that others noticed what you've really achieved. Now, just like I said, you do have great forward momentum, and this really does come in to the present time, that you have an eye on the prize, and you know where you're going, you know how to build those skills properly, and you know what you're building to. This is a situation where you can absolutely build to that situation because you do have a lot of potential, but that it looks like there is something holding you back. I do see that something is going to really change for that progress to really be had, that in terms of what's happened in your work or in your passionate life, basically what leads you to basically get finances and get those finances moving, that there is going to be something that really changes. Maybe for some of you, this will be a change of passion. Maybe for some of you, this will be movement in your passion, that you really start to realize that you can actually do this. You can actually really benefit from digging into that passion, working towards that passion. And I see that you will really go places, that although there will be fundamental change and that there will be difficulty in this, that your true self will come from that change, that you will really grow and build into that change, and that you can absolutely go places and you can absolutely have phenomenal and fantastic changes and growth, all sorts of things. So I really look forward to that, honestly. So as we get through that, I'd just like to say thank you for joining us today. This does bring us to the end of the reading here, and I will point out I am on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Weekly Tarot Light. I do weekly longer videos, daily shorter videos, so do check those out. I look forward to seeing you there.